Good afternoon, everybody. Again, welcome back to next session, today's session. Today topic is questionnaire designing. How to design the questionnaire for your research work. So, what is your learning objectives? Discuss the necessity and usefulness of questionnaire design. Describe different methods of questionnaire design. How to prepare a quality questionnaire for data collection. So, these are the major objectives of the today's session. So now, all of you know that what is questionnaire. The form of questions, so many questions, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, up to 10 or 20 as per requirement. But question is that in the today's session, how to prepare the good questionnaire. A good questionnaire should not be too lengthy. Simple English should be used and the questions should not be difficult to answer. If questions are difficult, then your respondents or where you want to collect your data so they can reply easily and confidently. So that's why when you prepare a questionnaire, your language should be very easy and it should be understood. A good questionnaire requires sensible language, editing, assessment, and redrafting. If your questionnaire is if not sensitive language, then what happens? Now you have to edit it, and you have to assess it, and you redraft it, and prepare the good questionnaire. So that means what happens? Now when you prepare a questionnaire, the question is very simple. The word is very friendly. That means all the respondents will be easy to understand. So accordingly, we have to prepare the questionnaire. Now, what are the questionnaire designing process? So, questionnaire when you are designing for your research work, so at that time, what happened? Different form of the questions you have to prepare, and different type of questionnaire also you have to prepare according to your objectives and according to your design of your research. So first point is state the information required. This will depend upon the nature of the problem, the purpose of the study, and hypothesis frame. The target audience must be concentrated on. That means what happened? Now, last class I told you when you are preparing your questionnaire, at that time first you have to think about that what type of information is required for my research study. If your required information is not defined, then how to prepare your questionnaire? So this is very important, very, very important. So before you prepare your questionnaire, you have to design your research work in proper way. Otherwise, it is difficult to find out the questions and also difficult to collect the information from the respondents. Second point is decide the matter or content of individual questions. So when you are preparing the questions, you have to ask questions to you that those questions we are preparing, whether this is correct, whether it is authentic. So that means what happened? Now so many questions you have to find out or you have to ask yourself, is the question significant? Yes, you put it. If no, then what happened? Now you have to again find out that which type of question is more accurate. Second, does the question contribute for the objective of the study? Those questions you are preparing, this question according to your objectives. If not, again you change it. Maybe you have to change your objectives or maybe you have to change your questions. But basically what happened? Now objectives should not be changed because initially you have to find out the objective. In the basis of objectives, you have to prepare the questionnaire. Third point is there a need of several questions for a single question? Those questions you are preparing, first you have to find out that whether these questions can you merge it or it is single questions you can answer you can collect the information. So accordingly what happened? Now you have to check it. How can you check it? When there is a need of cross-checking, when the answer are ambiguous, when people are hesitant to give correct information. So what happened is one. Now if your question is not the proper way or your questions are not feasible for the respondents or they are very difficult to find out the wording, some word, they have no idea about some word, this wording. So you have to cross check it again before you finalize or design your process or design your questionnaire. So at that time, what happened after preparing all the questions, you have to cross check it. If it is required, you go for the correct. If it is okay, then no problem. You have to as well as you can put these questions for the preparing the questionnaire. Then overcome the respondent's inability and willingness to answer. So that means what happened? And the respondent may not be fully informed. So when you are going to data collection of any respondent or any person, first you have to aware of your research work. That I want to come for this research work. So I want to take the information regarding in this field. So can you give some time to me? So accordingly, I want to ask some questions. I put it. Or if you are feasible, so you can read and you can put the correct answer of my questionnaire. The respondent may not remember how may be unable to express or articulate. The respondent may not be familiar with the genuine purpose. The question may appear to be irrelevant of the respondent. So that means what happens? Sometimes what happens? It happens. Sometimes it happens. Some respondents maybe knowingly they are avoiding your questionnaire, or some respondents they have no idea about the questionnaire, how to fill up it. So at that moment, what happened? If any respondent may not be able or may not able to give the answer, so you can understand him that this question I am asking this question regarding in this purpose. So that's why again they will able to answer it. Or if they are not able to answer your question, yeah, you ask some questions and you put it. But question is that this is not the matter. Matter is that when you are preparing some questionnaire, so it should be easily understandable by all the respondents, because always you are not taking your questionnaire and go to the same person, because sometimes you can send the questionnaire through the internet facility, through the net, or through the mail, or through the WhatsApp. So social media also you can send it. So accordingly, what happens? Now you have to check it whether this questionnaire is able to answer by the respondent or not. Or if you any respondent when you check the questionnaire, maybe they are unwilling to answer the questions. So accordingly, what happens? Now you have to prepare. Then structure. What is the structure questions? So that means what happens now when you are preparing your questions. So how can you prepare the questions? Because when you are want to collect your questions, or you want to prepare your questions, so at that time what happened? Now you have some idea about this one. What will be the answer? So if you are not able to write the answer of that particular questions, then it is difficult to prepare the questionnaire. For example, I am giving an example that you know that how are you? If the question is how are you, you know that the question is either it will be good or very good or fair or natural or both or bad like this. But how can you know that these are the answer of that questions? So for that cases, what happened? Now we have to go for open questionnaire, and open questionnaire always we have to prepare before you prepare the structured questionnaire. And this type of question when we are asking, now we are asking for the pilot study. In your pilot study, what happened? Now when you are prepare the questionnaire, at that time you have no idea about the question's answer. Only you have to prepare the question. That means what happened? Now suppose that in question number 1, you have to prepare how are you? Make the space open. Go for the first respondent. They answer good, right? Then same question you go to the other person. The question is very good. Answer is very good. And suppose third person, the answer is fine. Fourth person, not bad. Fifth person, okay. Sixth person, not bad. Seventh person, answer is bad. Next person, earth. Next person, answer is cannot say. So that means what happened? Now you can collect the 11 questions. Question answer, not questions. 11 question answer. So out of 11 questions answer, or out of 11 answer, so you have to find out that which answer is relevant for our study. Suppose you can find out that we can take worth, bad, natural, fair, good, very good, and excellence. So in out of seven, if you want to put seven questions, not an issue. If you want to reduce the answer, no, we can go for five. Five means what happened? Excellent, very good, good, poor, or that is natural, or you can say bad, like this. So you have to first find out because you have the answer. In pilot study, what happened in open questionnaire, you are find out the answer from the respondents, and you have to put it as per requirement of your questions. How many questions you have to put it? Answer means that is it is given there. Are you satisfied with your marks? Are you satisfied with your marks? So what type of answer will be there? Someone you are asking some students, are you satisfied with your marks in your examination? Someone tell yes, some are telling that no, some are telling them cannot say yes or no. But cannot say is the right, not the right answer because you have to answer it because you are asking the questions. Cannot say is not a question, but this is not an answer. Answer should be either yes or no. If cannot say, so again you have to ask the questions. So cannot say means what? Nothing. So that's why you can find out in here that the two questions is right. One is yes, one is no. So you have to put these two. Are you satisfied with your marks? Either yes or no. If yes, put a tick mark in yes, or no, put a tick mark in no. Similarly, other questions, structured questions. This is called the structured questions. Other structured questions, what happen? That this specify the set of response alternatives and the response format. These can be classified into multiple choice questions such as yes or no, and scales you can discuss like this. I have given you an example. What is your monthly family income? What is your monthly family income? So I am writing in here, as per my convenience, I am writing in here less than 10,000, 10,000 to 20,000, 20,000 to 30,000, 30,000 to 40,000, 40,000 to 50,000, more than 50,000. I find out that these are the right answer for the respondents. But you think that as per your work, as per research design, as per your objective, so you can put it less than 10,000, 10,000 to 30,000, 30,000 to 50,000, 50,000 to 70,000, more than 70,000. Also, you can put it, not a problem. So this scales is depending on the situation and depending on your objectives. What should be your objectives? Accordingly, objectives you can put your scales. Sometimes you can put the nominal scale, yes or no. Sometimes you can put the ordinal scale. Sometimes you can put your interval scale, and sometimes you have to put your ratio scale. Already last class we are discussing everything. So when you are using nominal scale, when you are using the ordinal scale, when you are using the interval scale, and when you are using the ratio scale and other techniques also we are discussing. The Likert scale is very, very important when you are preparing your structure of the research questions. So at that time, what happened? That Likert scale is very, very important than the other scaling techniques. Yes or no? So now I'm given another questions. How to prepare the structured questions? So these specify what is how do you feel today? How do you feel today? You have no answer. This answer you have no idea about this answer. Then what happened? Now for that cases what happened? Now you have to prepare an open questionnaire and you ask some respondents. You have to know what will be the answer of my questions. So at that time what happened? Now you have to go open questionnaire. How do you feel? One is given the answer is okay. One is happy. One is very happy. Someone is telling that I'm unhappy. Someone is very unhappy like this. So according to what happened, now you got the answer, and this answer you put in your systematic way. Those are visible for your study. So for that case, how do you feel today? So we are preparing 5 questions in here. This is called the 5-point scale. I am very happy or very happy. First one. Second one, very unhappy. Second one, unhappy. Third one, okay. Fourth one is happy, and fifth one is very happy. So when you ask the question to your respondents, so respondents can put any one out of 5. Similarly, another question is, how satisfied are you with our service? How satisfied are you with our service? So in these cases, you cannot use very happy, unhappy, very happy, happy, very happy. You cannot use because appropriate answer should be required. If you are writing, how satisfied are you with our service? Very unhappy. Little bit it is correct, but more correct is very satisfied or very dissatisfied, or somewhat satisfied, or very satisfied, or natural, or we cannot say like this. So cannot say is not a question answer. Cannot say is not an answer, because again you have to find out that. So that's why, how satisfied are you with your service? So we find out this question from where? From the respondent. Because now before you prepare the good questionnaire or structured questionnaire, first to collect the answer of your question from the respondents. So you can, as per my choice, I can find out very satisfied, somewhat unsatisfied, or very unsatisfied, neutral, somewhat satisfied, and very satisfied. You can change it, not a problem. As per your answer of respondents, you can change the question's answer. So that the first one is very unsatisfied, second one is somewhat unsatisfied, third one is neutral, fourth one is somewhat satisfied, and fifth one is very satisfied. So that when you ask, give this questionnaire to the respondent, they can put out of five, anyone they can put it. The next one is unstructured questionnaire. This unstructured questionnaire, what happened? Now already I have discussing with you, so this should be open. There is no option to fill up the questionnaire. And this unstructured questionnaire we are using for your pilot study. Before you preparing your good structured questionnaire. You are getting my point or not? So there are also known as open-ended questions. No alternative are suggested, and the respondents are free to answer this question in any way they like. Are you satisfied with your marks? May yes, may no, don't know, anything. They can given the answer. Accordingly, this answer you put the structured questionnaire. What is your monthly family income? Like this is open. Someone is writing that less than 10,000. Someone is writing that more than 1 lakh. Someone is writing that more than 50,000. Someone is writing that less than 20,000. So in the basis of this one answer, so you have to find out the best question answer and you put it in your structured questionnaire, right? Like this question, less than 10,000, less than 10 to 20,000, like this, or you can change it, no problem, as per your requirement, your decisions, your objectives. And determine the question language phrasing. So this is very, very important in your vibe. Now, if the questions are poorly worded, then either the respondent will refuse to answer the questions or they may give incorrect answer. Thus, the word of the question should be carefully chosen. Wording is very, very important because some word their meaning is different. So that's why those word is particularly suitable for your questions. Accordingly, you have to put that word. Ordinary and ambiguous words should be used. Avoid implicit assumptions, generalization, and implicit alternative. Avoid biased questions. Those questions has double meaning questions or more than one answer. So this type of words should be avoided always. You remember this one, because if you are using this type of that is wording, then maybe your answer or your data collection should be not feasible. Maybe sometime, as per your requirement, data may be different. So if your data is different, then your research work is different. And your work is different, then you couldn't find out the right solution. So for that cases, what happens? Now, when you are using your language or wording or your phrasing in cases, so equal to use ordinary and ambiguous words should be used there, because easily people can understand and easily they can give the answer. Properly arrange the question. This is very, very important. So when you are arranging the questions, then in which question, which type of question should be required? So one question is different, another question different. Suppose I'm giving more examples to you. So when you are going for the data collection, you are preparing your questionnaire. The first one is you are given what? What is your name? And second question is that what should be your annual income? And third question is that what should be your, how many your family members? Then third question is what is your sex? You are married or unmarried? So this type of question you don't ask it, because what happened? Now if you are using this type of question, then maybe the respondent facing to answer your questions. Sometimes the respondent easily they can given your questions answer, but sometimes they have to read the question and give the answer. So that's why what happened. Now, when you are preparing your questionnaire, first section A should be the demographic profile. Demographic profile means what happened? And this is the basic information. The first section A should be the basic information like this. First question, section A. First question is name. Second question is age. Third question is qualification. Fourth question, or you can say that gender, or you can say sex. Fifth question is qualification. Sixth question is income. So like this. Next question should be occupation. Just like this, you have to prepare the questionnaire. That means what happened? Now your section A should be generally the demographic profile of the respondents. It is given mention that to determine the order of the question, take decision on aspect like opening questions. Simple or interesting questions should be used as opening question to gain the cooperation and confidence of the respondents. So that means what happened? Now when you are preparing your questions after section A, then you start your section B as per your requirement of your study. So from this study, what happened? When you are preparing questions from beginning to end, the questions should be interesting. And that means if you are interesting, then what happens? Now respondent should be interested to able the answer of your questions. So accordingly, what happened? Now you have to prepare. And if your question should be interesting, or it will be interested, then what happened? A respondent will go through one by one, and able to answer all the questions. If questions are difficult, or it is not interesting, or it is something difficult to the respondents, then what happened? Some questions they are answered, some questions they are avoiding. They are not able to answer it. So that's why the question should be interesting. Basic information relates to the research issue classification information related the social and demographic characteristic and identification information relates to the personal information such as name, address, contact number of the respondent. So that's why what happened. Now when initially you prepare the questions, in this questionnaire what happened, now you have to put the basic information, and after that in section B, section C, section D, section E, as per your requirement you can put it, because section A is different objectives, section C is different objectives questions, section D is different objective question. So accordingly, as per your requirement, as per your objectives, you have to prepare the questions. So in this question cases what happened? Now when you prepare the first 1, 2 or 3 or 4 questions should be interested. If it is interesting, then what happened? Now, it is easy to give the answer by the respondent. Recognize the form and layout the questionnaire. This is very, very essential for self-administered questionnaire. The questions should be pre-coded. The layout should be such that it appears to be neat and orderly and not cluttered. So that means what happened? Now when you are preparing the questionnaire should be in systematic manner and well coding. Coding means what happened in here? Now we are not writing 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. The question is well structured. That means suppose 5-point scaling techniques you are using to prepare the questionnaire. That means your coding what happened? Now first one is, what is the first one? First one is suppose strongly agree. Then second one is agree. But first one is strongly agree. Last one should not you write the agree. This is not the right form. If strongly agree means after that you write agree. After that you write natural. After that you write disagree. That means after that you have to write strongly disagree. But first you write disagree, then you write strongly agree, then you write strongly disagree, then you write disagree, then you write natural. So this is not the right form to prepare the questionnaire. Questionnaire what happens? It should be in the proper way or proper manner. After that, which answers should be after which point or which that is the relative answer. So you have to first prepare, and it will be accordingly you have to prepare this one. Clear or not? Reproduce the questionnaire. Paper quality should be good. Questionnaire should appear to be a professional. The required space for the answer to be questioned should be sufficient. The font type and size should be appropriate. So that means what happens? Now when you are prepare a questionnaire, the questionnaire look like it's good. That means what happens? The respondent should be interested to see your questionnaire. before filling the questionnaire. For that cases, what happened? The quality of the questionnaire paper it should be good. Yes. The questionnaire should be appear and to be a professor. The looking should be professor. That means the foresight margin should be well margined, well designed, yes or no, well communicate, yes or no. The letter size should be same for all the questions, and the performance of the questionnaire should be attractive, yes or no. And after that, the font you can say the font size for questions and answer, it should be symmetrical. One font size should be 14, one is 10, one is 12, then it will not easy. What is acceptable by the respondents? This questionnaire is not good. I cannot able to answer all the question. You prepare the questionnaire well and you come back like this. So that's why what happened. Now it is that is what is dissatisfied the respondents. So we'll be dissatisfied. So that's why what happened. Now when you prepare your questionnaire, the questionnaire should be proper, qualitative, and proper manner, proper systematic, and your very very important is that the spacing and size of the letter or wording. So what the size of the font size should be equal. Pre-test the questionnaire. So pre-test the questionnaire means what happened? Now you know that in your examination or in your classes or your examination, pre-test and post-test examination is there. Pre-test examination means what happened? Now we have to check it just how the student learn from the classes. They are regular or not, they are securing more marks or not. So you have to pre-test similar in here also. Now before you prepare your questionnaire, you have to check the pre-test questionnaire. Pre-test questionnaire means what happened? Now when you are preparing your questionnaire, first you have to go for the open questions to prepare the questionnaire, good questionnaire, yes or no. So after you preparing the questionnaire, that means after the pilot study, when you are preparing your question, after that you go for pre-test. Pre-test means suppose your sample size is 500, because after preparing your questionnaire, you have to send 500 respondents. But before send the questionnaire, first you check locally up to 10 or 20 sample take the respondents and you send them to prepare the questionnaire whether they are facing any problem. If they are facing problem, you take the comment from them and accordingly you have to change it. You have to modify your questionnaire. After modifying the questionnaire and collect the information from them, after that you prepare the finalized questionnaire and send that questionnaire to the 500 respondents. You are getting my point or not? The pre-test questionnaire means what happened? Now, before you send your corrected questionnaire to your all 500 respondents, before that you have to check it whether this questionnaire is all right for the respondent or not. You take small samples or 10 respondents or 20 respondents and you initially send it. If any problem, if they are facing any problem, collect the information from them. Accordingly, you revise your questionnaire, then you send to 500 respondents. That means what when the pre-test questionnaire is very very important when you collect the information from the respondent as per your objective of your research. Then finalize the questionnaire. Already discussed that. Check the final draft questionnaire. Again, ask yourself how much will the information obtained from each question contribute to the study. Make sure that relevant questions are not asked. Obtain feedback to respondent to the questionnaire. So after your pre-test questionnaire, then you have to finalize your questionnaire. Again, you ask yourself whether these questions are reliable and fit for our research work or research study or not. So after that, you finalize your questionnaire, then you send to the respondent to collect the data. Then what is quality of a good questionnaire? The question, this is the process. Then what is the quality of good questionnaire? This is a very, very important. We can say that always, you have to prepare the quality questionnaire, but what is the quality questionnaire? How can you find out this one? How can you identify it? The design of questionnaire will depend on whether the researcher wishes to collect the exploratory information, qualitative information for the purposes, or quantitative information. When you are going for qualitative information, So at that time, we need not require any questionnaire. You remember this one. If your research is a qualitative manner or your research is a qualitative, you are using the qualitative techniques, then at that cases what happen, there is not required at all the questionnaire. But always questionnaire is required when you are going for quantitative study. In qualitative study, what happen? Only the information you can collect as per discussion. Either observation method you can use, or either technical discussion you can use, or you can take the secondary data information and accordingly you can find out the solution of a research work. But when you are preparing a questionnaire, you see that, and this is your quantitative study. The quantitative information should be required in the form of questionnaire, because otherwise we cannot collect the information, because when we are collecting the information from the respondents, that means it should be quantitative. After that we take this data information to represent the Excel form, and after that we analyze the data. So further cases what happen? Now only it is possible when you prepare the questionnaire, only to prepare your questionnaire for quantitative data, and you have to prepare in systematic way. That is already I have discussed how to prepare the questionnaire. Systematic manner means one section A, what is this is the demographic profile, and in demographic profile what is the order of the questions, after what which question should be required. So accordingly you have to prepare, then only you can find out that this questionnaire is good. Yes or no? In here we are writing that the design of questionnaire will be dependent on whether the researcher wishes to collect the exploratory information, that is quality information for the purpose of better understanding or the generation of the hypothesis of the subject, or quantitative information to test the specific hypothesis that have previously been generated. Sometimes also the qualitative cases also we are collecting the data information, but we cannot send the questionnaire to the respondents. Only we ask the questions and collect the information. So this is the observation, or either by telephone discussion or by the personal meeting, and you can collect the information. So this is questionnaire should be keep with you, not you have to send to the respondent. But in the quantitative techniques, what happen? When you are quantitative research, we are using data must. Without data, we cannot do our research work by the quantitative method. Then, exploratory questionnaires. If the data to be collected is quantitative or qualitative, or it is not to be statistically evaluated. That means what happens? Now, when you are taking your data qualitative, statistically we cannot evaluate it, but in your quantitative data, statistically evaluated. It may be that no formal questionnaire is required for exploratory for qualitative data, but in quantitative data, the data should be required. So that means what happen? Exploratory questionnaire is what happen? Now for qualitative data, not required. But why not required? Now we are not going for the statistical analysis. Because what happen? Now every researchers, they want to use some statistical techniques for analysis the data. But when we are going for the qualitative research, at that time what happened? No statistical techniques we are using. Why you are not using? We have no data. How can you test it? When we are testing our data, we have to find out that whether our data is acceptable or not. That means we are using reliability test and the validity test. So in the reliability and validity test, what happened? Now we have to find out that data is valid or data is reliable for our research work. Then only we can go for the statistical analysis. So various type of techniques are there: parametric test, parametric test, non-parametric test we are using to validate the data. Non-parametric test also we are using to analyze your data. So some techniques are there, but in qualitative techniques or qualitative research cases, we are not using the statistical techniques. Formal or standardized questionnaire. If the researcher is looking to test and quantify hypotheses, the data is to be analyzed statistically. A formal standardized questionnaire is designed. The formal questionnaire, when you are preparing, what happens? Now this is a mode of quantitative analysis or quantitative data or quantitative research. In quantitative research, what happens? Now we have to form a questions, we have to prepare, and we have to gather in a format, and this is called the questionnaire. We send this one to the respondent, collect the information, and we go for the analysis. Decision in questionnaire design. What are the decisions you have to take? in when you prepare the question. And this is very very important. Some questions are required for our primary research work, and some questions or decisions required for our advanced research work. Decide the information required or not. First questions. Yes. Define the target respondents. So target respondent is very very important. If your target respondent you are not evaluated or you cannot find out, then how can you prepare the questionnaire? The question is that before you go for your research work, first you have to find out that who will be your target audience. Suppose, for example, we can say that first class I am given the already given the example that how to develop the business what is you can management education, develop the management education. So at that time, who are the target respondents? Student, teacher, and the head of the institution. Yes or no? Similar question that how to develop the TV product or LED TV product in the Samsung company. So who will be the target audience? Now those customers are using the LED TV or those customers using the TV. So these are the target customers. Yes or no? Suppose when you are going, you can say what is the what will be uh, the question is what will be the birth rate or you can say death rate in our state. So as a who the respondent? All the family holders. Each family is the target audience or target respondent. So you have to go to the each household and you collect the information. What is the death rate and what is the birth rate of the state? Yes or no? So similarly, what happens? Now first you have to find out who will be who are the target respondent. This is very very important. Choose the method reaching your target respondent. So if those are the target groups or these are the target audience, then accordingly, which type of method we have to use? Suppose you have required only the 500 data, but your target group is 5 lakhs. Then how can you collect the data? How can you easily collect the data from the 5 lakhs respondent? So that means what happened in here, you are using the sampling techniques. What type of sampling method you are using to collect the data from the respondents? Next class we are discussing what is sampling and sampling distribution. So at that time we are discussing which type of methods we are using there. Sampling method generally what happens, simple random sampling, you know that naturally. Simply randomly we are taking the samples and we collect the information. Yes, this is your technique, but so many techniques are there. So what proper method or proper techniques you are using to collect the data? Decide the question contents. Yes, question content, if you are preparing this question content means systematically of the questions. How, in which manner you have to arrange your questions. The questions content should be is very easy and understandable for the respondent. Develop the question wording. Wording should be right, because if wording is not accurate what you are using for your question, that means your answer should be maybe varied. So when you are the respondent they are answering your questions, it may be varied. So the proper words you have to use. Put question into a meaningful order and format. Already discussed. Check the length of the question. Question should not be more. It should be concise. Whether you are going for the 5-point scale or 7-point scale or 3-point or the nominal yes or no, like this question you have to put. But if you are too lengthy, so it is very difficult to analyze your data. So that's why check the questions whether it is in suitable manner or not, or the length of questionnaire should be less or not. Pre-test piloting the questionnaire. Pre-test I am discussing that. Pre-test is very very important. Whether pre-test you have to not prepare, you cannot prepare the questionnaire in good questionnaire. You can prepare the questionnaire, but it should not be good because what happened? You are not tested it. And develop the final survey form or questionnaire. So F1 means what happened, and this is a questionnaire. So this decision you have to take when you are preparing the questionnaire. Listening questions design. The questions should not be lengthy. The design paper printing to be chosen. The question asked should be well worded and should not be ambiguous. The question asked should be in a proper sequence. Irrelevant questions should be studied, would be avoided. Questions should be free from the personal bias. This should not be injure filling the respondents. Questions should be such that respondent has to do the minimum of writing work. Questions involving the mathematical calculation should be avoided. Questions involving the mathematical calculation should be avoided because what happens now if mathematical calculation is there in questionnaire, it is very difficult to answer the respondent. So for the cases what happen now it should be given the mathematical calculation you should avoid this one. Don't use in your questionnaire. It is very wrong process. Yes or no? The instruction is given and when the questionnaire you are preparing section A or section B or section C or section D, anyone. So before you fill up the questions, you have to give the proper instruction in the questionnaire. It should be mentioned. Yes or no? Now sometimes what happens, we are preparing the questionnaire, one for strongly disagree, two for disagree, three for natural, fourth for agree, fifth for strongly agree. That means you have to give the instruction in your above the questions. So accordingly, you have to fill up the questions. You don't write the strongly agree. You have to write strongly agree means you have to put 5. Agree means you have to put 4. Natural means you have to put 3. Disagree means you have to put 2. Strongly disagree means you have to put 1. Suppose you can change the reverse. Suppose you are putting that 1 for strongly agree, 2 for strongly that is only agree, 3 for neutral, 4th for disagree, 5th is strongly disagree. Accordingly, you given the instruction above the questions. So this is very very important. Okay, if the instruction is not given properly, maybe respondent there when fill up the form, it may be wrong. Now, I am discussing about some sample questionnaire. What is sample questionnaire? Now, first I am discussing about the demographic profile. So you should write like this. Demographic profile means what is your name? It should be right, open, because they have to mention your name, or they have to mention his name. So name it should be open. Then age you can write in here. As per my convent, I am writing 21 to 25 years because when you are collecting the information, the age should be not less than 21. That means only we have to collect after 21 age, we have to collect the information. Sometimes also your requirement is different. Suppose we have to collect the information age group, we can say that this should be 5 to 35. So that accordingly you can write more than 5 years. Then 5 to 10 years, 10 to 15 years like this. So in your age group, what happened? Now you have like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I'm writing 21 to 25 years, 25 to 30 years, 30 to 35 years, 40 to 45 years, 45 years and above. You can put 5 to 10, 10 to 15, 15 to 20, 20 to 30, more than 30. So like this. So accordingly, you have to put your questionnaires. Then gender you can write male and female. So you can write male and female given the space, or you can put in the question number 2 as like this. First one is male, second one is female. They have to put it. Any form you can prepare the questionnaire. Similarly, marital status, either single or married. Single you can put mark, tick mark, or married you can tick mark. But before what happen, you have to give the instruction. Either you give the put tick marks or you given the what. As per the instruction, they will fill up the questionnaire. Then profession. I am writing profession as service, business, and others. So those service, or business, or others. Others, if you can define it, suppose you can write given the 5 option. Then what happens? Service, business, then entrepreneur or self-service. Sometimes service, government service or self-service, business or entrepreneur or others. Also, you can use this one. You can use it, and accordingly you can put up experience. Experience I have not given mentioning any here. Either you can give the space or you can write 1 year experience, 2 year experience, 3 year experience, 4 year experience, more than 5 year experience. So you have to give the option, they have to put it. Yes or no? And this what happened now before you go for any questionnaire, or you have to prepare the quality or good questionnaire. So at that time what happened? Now you have to prepare the demographic profile first. Don't go for demographic. Some researchers also they are preparing, they are taking demographic profile in the last page. But this is not good. Look like it is not good because now when a person they want to fill the questionnaire, first they have to read that yes, the questionnaire is the right form. Also you can write in here contact number or email number or mobile number like this. But always you try to avoid these questions. Mobile number, contact number, only mail is good. sometimes all the respondents they are not that is satisfied with this type of questions. They give the contact number. Name they can put it, but contact number, mail ID they want to it is easily they cannot give it. Yes or no? So that's why try to avoid this contact number in the year number. When is required, any question or as per your requirement, this is required, then you can convince them. Then only you can collect the information. Right? Another form also you can prepare your demographic profile. That is that. See this table. Name of the company, I am given the company. Name of the company, TCS, Infosys, Wipro, SCL, Tech Mahindra, and others in here. When they are, suppose they are the employee of these organizations, because service holder cases, we can take the data collection. Gender, male, female, they have to put tick marks. Age group, less than 25, 25 to 35, 35 to 45, 45 to 55, and more than 55. Then you can put it. But in here, if you are taking in this way, 25, 35, 35, 45, 45, 55. So 35 if you are taking, so in which option? If you are taking 35, second option, then always take the second option. Then the third option, it should be from 36. If you are taking 35, the third option, then 25 to 35, 34 should be the second option, up to 34. So you remember this one, this is a year of experience when he is calculating, where he has to calculate. Then education qualification like this, you can put it engineering graduates, postgraduate, professionals, and others. So accordingly, you can prepare the questionnaire. Also, you can use in other way. Engineering graduates, graduates, you can only the graduates, undergraduates, graduate, postgraduate, professional. Also, you can write. Or you can, if your requirement is there up to high school, then intermediate or plus 2 or plus 3 or PG or PhD like this. So accordingly, you can define this one. This is as per requirement, you have to put it. Designation also this one. Designation I am given the project manager, senior software engineer, technical head, others like this. So also you can put it like this. The total experience of the year less than 5, 5 to 10, 10 to 15, 15 to 20, and more than 20. So accordingly we can write. So accordingly your objectives, your requirement, also you can change it. Now less than 10, less than 20, or more than 20, less than 30 or more than 30. So like this also you can use this one. So this is the other way in demography also you can use. So this is always be remember that this type of questions always in the demographic profile and should be the section B. Now the next section, I'm writing this section A. This is the I'm not preparing any other, I'm only writing the demographic profile. The next question, if you're writing section A there, then you write in here this section B. Section B means what happened? Now in here you see that the question is that employee satisfaction survey question. The question is that do you feel valued your contribution? So I in here what happened? The initially instruction is given that 1 for strongly agree, 2 for disagree, 3 for undecided, 4 for agree, and 5 for strongly agree. So in this question, what happened? You don't write the strongly agree. Only if you are satisfied or strongly disagree, then you put 1 only. Don't write the strongly disagree because it is already mentioned there. For strongly disagree, you put 1. For disagree, you put 2. For undecided, you put 3. And for agree, you write 4. Strongly agree, you write 5. So when you fill up in this type of questions, so in here only you write 1. Similar second question, do your superior communicate company news effectively and in a timely manner? So at that time what happened? Now when you see that, which one you have to write in here? Either 1 or 2 or 3 or 4 or 5. So where is right? And this is the 4 square is there. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So 5 question is there. So 5 means you have to put in your 5 boxes. 3 means in 3 boxes. 4 means in 4 boxes. 1 means 1 boxes. Accordingly, you have to write this one. Yes or no? Third question, does management seem invested in success of the team? If you disagree, then you put in your second boxes. You write 2. If the next question, how transparent do you feel the management is? If you are 3 undecided, then you write the 3 in the third box, not the second box, or not the first box. So similarly, you can put the questionnaire. So another type of questions, it is given. Do you enjoy the company culture? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We are mentioning this one. Just you have to take it. This type of question also you can prepare. Do you enjoy your company's culture? Above it is given. 1 for what? Strongly agree. 2 for what? Disagree. 3 for what? Undecided. 4 for what? Agree. And 5 for what? Strongly agree. So we are mentioning in here 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Just you have to tick the marks. Accordingly, you prepare all the questions. Do you enjoy the company culture? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 is given. If you are strongly disagree, only you tick the 1. If you are disagree, you put the 2. If you are undecided, you put 3. If you are agree, you tick the 4. If you are strongly agree, you tick the 5. So accordingly, you can prepare your questions. You are getting my point or not? So these are generally we are using this type of techniques for to prepare the questionnaire. If you are preparing this type of questions and this type of questions, then what happen? Your questionnaire should be structured. If questionnaire should be, if it is not structured, then it is very difficult to prepare the questions and it is difficult to respondents for answer the questions. So that's why what happened. Now, how can you prepare the good questionnaire? Now, this good questionnaire you can prepare if you follow in this process. Initially, we can use the demographic profile, and next section is in your regarding your objective questions. And objective questions should be well mannered. Either in this way, give the instruction to the respondents, they have to fill up the questions, or in this way also you can fill up the question. You can prepare the questionnaire. Only they have to take the marks. Yes or no? So after that, what happens? After questionnaire is formed or questionnaire, you prepare the questionnaire. Then what you have to do? Then what you will do? Then you have to send this questionnaire to the respondent. But in here, this questionnaire, either you can send this questionnaire to the respondent by the mail or through the social media, or this questionnaire you can prepare in a Google form, and also you can give the link to all the respondents, and directly you collect the data to your computers. You remember or not? Better is that now, because the facility of the social media platform, this questionnaire you can prepare in the Google form. Go to click the Google, and your format is there, and you prepare all the questions accordingly your requirement. There is option, everything is there. Option is there, everything is there. And after that, you send this link to everyone, and they have to fill up the questionnaire, again submit it. If after submission of this questionnaire Google form, then directly this data come to your mail or in your Excel sheet. Directly it will come. That will be easy. That means why we are going for like this. Now after you collect the questionnaire from your Google form, then this answer or the questions answer. Suppose 500 responded, they are given the answer in the Google form. The automatically what happened? The data should be in your Excel sheet, 500 data. So you have to note again to interpret your data in your Excel sheet. Yes or no? So this is very, very important. So that's why Google form is a good platform to collect the data from the respondents also. So that means what happened? Now if your Excel data is given, or it is coming, 500 data is given, just you have to rectify it. Rectify means what happened? Now you have to Excel sheet, download your Excel sheet, and you have to check it. Yes or no? So after that, what you have to do in here? Now you have to use the coding. The coding is very, very important because for analyze your data. Coding means what happened? Now suppose it is given that, suppose in your this questions, what is this one? Yes or no? This question is given. Let me 1 minute. I'll take it. In here, suppose in here. Are you satisfied with your marks? Yes or no? So you should put in the place of yes, this is 1, and 2, this is no. So you should put in your Excel sheet 1 and 2. All because whatever after you collect the all information from your questionnaire is or from your Excel sheet, the when you go for the analysis of data, this should be in your numerical form. So that's why what happened? Now, if the questions they are answering yes or no, in the place of yes, you put one, in the place of no, you put two. Similarly, in these cases, what is your monthly income? So at the time, what happened? You are not writing in here, only they have to tick mark. So in here, what happened? Now you should take less than 10,001, 10,000 to 20,002, 20,000 to 30,003, 30,000 to 40,004, 40,000 to 50,005, and more than 50,000 is equal to 6. Because why? Now, if you are not writing in this way, the computer cannot analyze your data. So this is very, very important. Okay. Similarly, in here, or it is given very unhappy 1, unhappy 2, okay 3, very happy 4, and very happy 5. Or it is mentioned just to put the numerical data in basis of the your answer. Very happy, if you are writing very happy, you put that 1. Unhappy, you put that 2. If you are writing in this way, if they are putting 1, 2, 3, so there is no need to again evaluate your collected data. If you are writing the very happy, so you need to put 1. If they are writing one very happy, then 1. If you are putting 1, that means you can find out that your answer should be very unhappy. Like this. So accordingly, so you can put your data. But in this type of data, whatever, if you are using your questionnaire, so you should avoid this one. So you cannot analyze this type of questions answer. You cannot analyze because what? Now this type of answer should be not the well manner or is not accurate. So that's why. So you have to avoid this type of open questions in your quality questionnaire. Okay. So this is basically how to design a questionnaire. So we are discussing one by one, and we are giving some examples, and I think all of you understand properly. And when you are preparing a questionnaire, so the proper format you should follow. And if your format should be well, then I think the respondent are agree or easily they can understand the questionnaire and they can answer your questionnaire. Otherwise, it is very difficult. So this type of question and this type of question generally you are using. So this is the questions. So today's topic is how to prepare the questionnaire and how to design the good questionnaire. So today this session or this unit will cover, and next class we have to use that how we have to collect the data from the respondent, which sample and which sample design we have to use. So thank you very much.